Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Now Hear This. My special guest this evening is none other than Mac Montana. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes.
No doubt. We're going to talk about your latest project with Saga, the best story ever told. But before we do that, we're going to go back in time a little bit and get to know Mac Montana. For those who may not know, where were you born and raised at?
Boston, man. Roxbury. Boston, Mass.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Uh, that's a place of a lot of legendary rappers like LG and so on. What do you remember most about growing up in Roxbury?
The grittiness, man. I mean, for sure, we had people coming out of Boston and music artists, but what I remember is the grittiness, man. What makes a rapper and everything come out of there. So,
Right.
yeah,
During your teenage years, what kind of hobbies and interests did you have?
man. A whole bunch of music, man. But we came in the grittiness in the streets and shit. So, a lot of the hobbies was a lot of bad shit going on, but music for sure was one of them.
Yeah.
That was a good thing.
Who were some of the MCs earlier on? What kind of scene did you guys have in Roxbury? What were you witnessing early on at a young age?
Man, we were just witnessing a lot of what we were seeing from, the older heads and stuff like, you know, how it goes in a normal hood, man. Like, bunch of shit, people seeing people do stuff and us watching it and carrying on with the same kind of thing, man, like the grittiness. It's a lot of what we were seeing back then.
Right. Before taking hip hop serious, who were some of your musical influences around that time? Who were you listening to, as far as artists from other regions?
Um, all the old shit, man, like D Block, Wu Tang, you know what I'm saying? My sister was a big hip hop head. She's older, but she used to make me listen to all that just so I was like musically educated and stuff. So I have my education in this music shit.
Right. Kind of give us a timeline. When did you start, taking it real serious as far as putting the pen to the pad and crafting, some, music earlier on?
Definitely, I've been rapping since I was like 11, but I was doing a bunch of versatile stuff and I was doing the singing, the trap stuff, and then last year of January, I took on the boom bap stuff, and then started moving on to that.
Right. Now, did you start out solo or were you part of a crew earlier on?
I was partnered with a bunch of crews back then, but it ended up not working out because people not being on the same type of timing I was on, or the same mindset, or having the same goals. So I ended up just making my own label.
Okay. How was that trial and process, going to make your own label?
A lot of lessons. I took little pieces of information that I learned from other people. There's a thing that a lot of people don't know about me. I may look like a type of person I'm not paying attention, but what I do is I listen to people, I soak up game, and I apply it to whatever I'm doing. So I took little things here and there that I heard from people, and then I made my own label, and now it is what it is.
Right. There's certain artists signed to that label, or was you just kind of focusing on yourself at the time?
Not signed. I really was focused on myself at the time, but we got people that's with the label but not signed. We got Tone Kelly from Canada, and we got my boy Keiko Mertz. He's still rocking with it, but now he's more on the beat side than the artist side.
Right. Talk a little bit about your relationship with those guys. How did you link up?
Internet and networking, man. Like uh, Keiko Mertz, I was just doing this whole networking thing and going on people's pages, and I found him, and he heard my music, and I heard his music, and we ended up collaborating. And then I told him I got this label going on, and we just ended up partnering. It worked out. Tone Kelly, uh, I was hearing about him through shows, and people just saying his name or whatever. And he tried to do a feature with me, and then at the time I was like, man, I'm charging for features, but it just ended up working how it was working. We kept talking, and then I did a song with him, and he just, ended up coming with the label, and it fit very well.
Right. Talk a little bit about, getting your name out there, getting known, some of the dues you had to pay, some of the earlier shows, parties, whatever, to get your name out there and get known a little bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would hit up some people, but there would be people not even responding to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just not really taking my craft serious at the time. But I was reaching out to people doing it the wrong way instead of doing it how I do it now. I market and then go through other people, and that's how I know my name was going out there because people. I'll go through other people that know the people I want to work with, and just marketing, and they'll put my name out there, and then now people want to work. So I came up with a little marketing strategy to just get my name out there.
Gotcha. So when was your official first release, and kind of give us a timeline? What year?
I was releasing music back then, around 2011, 2012, and I had a bunch of music, but I just feel like the music that I was putting out wasn't applying to where the spot I wanted to get to. So I just ended up, taking all that music down and rebranding myself for real.
So what point did you start, putting it back up, and talk a little bit about those releases? You said you started maybe around 2011. What point did you start putting the music back up, and talk about those projects?
Man, those projects were a lot of what I was dealing with at the time, like being in the streets and, getting into it with people. And I was just like, man, like, I don't even know if this is what really gonna get me paid for real. Cause I was really looking at music as just wanting it to get me paid instead of looking at the picture of using it as, what it is now. Like now I look at music as therapy and the outcome of it working hard is what's gonna get you paid. I mean, I just wanted the quick money, but at the time it wasn't really working like that. So I kind of just took a step back and was like, man, I don't know if this is really what I want to do with it. So I just ended up taking all of it down and then rebranding myself for real. And people liked the rebrand. People was messing with it a little more. I was getting more traction, and now I'm fully rebranded and I got it to a spot where I wanted to be at.
Right. Talk about your transition from Boston to Texas.
Man, on the real, I was going through a lot in Boston and it was just bad situation. But for me, I was going through a lot and then the crazy part is a lot of people don't know is I was playing a video game and shit and I met this dude from Texas and we ended up talking whatever. We kept playing the game every day. He's like, yo, why don't you come to Texas? So I ended up, taking a risk and coming out here by myself, and I ended up doing a whole tour out here, like 4 or 5 shows. And I was on my way back to the airport, and the belt broke on the car. So I just stayed in Texas.
What year was that?
This is 2020, yeah, 2020 actually, yeah, 2020.
Okay, so you're in the prime of COVID. Talk a little bit about life. You made a big transition going from Boston to Texas. COVID hits. Where are you at mentally and physically at this time?
COVID was stuck in the house, man. Like I said, I had this is where it was messing up everything for me because I had a bunch of plans, to link up with people, shows, everything else, and it just COVID hit and it messed up everything. So I had no choice but to stay in the house. So I invested into a studio to bring to my house, and from there it just worked, man. Like that's all I was doing is just sending verses out because I didn't want to stop the grind of what I was doing on working with people.
Right. Talk a little bit about some of the artists that you collaborated with throughout the years.
Throughout the years, man, I collaborated with a bunch of ill artists, man. Like people that I met through the internet, like Iceberg Snub. I met him through the internet. The crazy part is with him is he knew my people because we all from Boston, and I guess he knew my people for years. So it just kind of worked out how it worked out. But I met him through the internet. Nonchalantly Zay, that's been my longtime friend for like 12 years, bro. So we just been working, networking. I worked with a bunch of people that he was bringing in, beat tenant producers, bunch of people, and then I ended up me and my homeboy Saucien. Now we partnered DMB with his stuff. And then Saga, I met him. I was just on live. I was networking, and then I went to his live, and then he was working on a Pete Rock sample. And from there, I was like, "Yo, it sounds hot, bro. Let's work on something." I just took a chance because I didn't think he was gonna work with me. And from there, it worked out how it worked out.
Talk a little bit about some of the producers you've worked with over the years.
Man, a lot. Shout out to Maestros. He's a boom bap producer. Shout out Beat Tenant. Shout out Jazzy Lion Man, Saint Maxi. You know, I worked with a bunch of them.
Right. Um, Talk a little bit about the scene, like, you know, going from Boston to Texas and the scenes there. What is the scene like in Texas?
It's different, man. Like at first, I was a little skeptical, man, because where we come from is real gritty. Like, you know, I'm used to walking past somebody and telling them, you know, what the fuck you looking at type thing. And
Right.
out here, they just give you that, hey, how you doing? That Southern love. It was just weird. Like, it took a real like it took a lot of adjusting, man. Like I just wasn't used to it. I kind of looked at like I'm a weird person, bro. I look at everything like a setup. So I'm like, what's your intentions, bro? Like, yeah, it was that thing right there.
Right. You were mad busy in 2024. Let's run through some of the projects that you released last year. Remember My Name.
Whoa. Remember My Name was the second introduction to boom bap. Now, that one I kind of took a little time on. I was marketing like crazy. I found new ways to market, and it just went up, man. Like I went working with older people, you know what I'm saying? Like people that's still in the game, but they older and they got more knowledge for that tape. So, man, that tape was definitely different, but that was just more like I'm making my stamp in this shit. That's why I called it Remember My Name, because I want y'all to look at Boom Bap and mention me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What was your first introduction to boom bap?
My first introduction was a song. It was it was a song with Iceberg Snub called Roxbury Talk. Because we both from Roxbury in Boston. So we wanted to put that stamp in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Talk a little about War with Myself.
Woe with myself, that was it was I was in a difficult place at that time. The reason why I put Woe with myself is because man, it was just I was showing people that it's alright to go through what you're going through because I was going through a lot of PTSD from the streets and stuff, and I was just mixing the boom bap with the regular stuff, and I was still not fully in boom bap, but I was still mixing it up.
Right. And last but not least, The Blueprint.
The blueprint, that one was fully hip hop itself. Like that was like I'm here, but I'm gonna show y'all I got more. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a tape with this ill producer I got with Maestros, and he was just like, "Man, I got that grimy sound for you, something that you're gonna want to do." And it just came out how it came out, man. Like we worked on that thing for like 6 months, and it came out perfect.
Right. How hard was that transition from rapping to the normal production that you used to going to boom bap?
Man, it was a little weird transition because I knew what I wanted to do, which was the trap stuff, because I have a crowd for it, and my boy Zay kept telling me over the years, like, yo, like, he was like trying not to put the idea fully in my head, but just throw little hints at it. He was like, man, you should do this, you should do that. And I was doing them, but I was just like, man, I'm not feeling this. And we did one boom bap track. It was like 5 minutes long. It had different artists on it, and it had the producer Beat Tendon on it. And it just went crazy. And I'm just like, yo, I might give this a try. So the beginning of last year, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fully commit to boom bap.
So during that commitment, what was the feedback like, reaction from the supporters throughout 2024?
I feel like the feedback was people telling me like this is what we've been waiting for. Because Boston got a certain grittiness to it, and when we rap, you will know that it's not from anywhere else. You probably won't guess Boston off the rip, but you would be like, this sound is like nowhere else. We got this kind of like raspy grittiness to it. And that's what people tell me all the time. Like, you got this raspy, gritty shit to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You mentioned with Saga earlier. You two have a project out for 2025, the best story ever told. Once again, how did you guys connect?
We connected through a live stream. I had this little method that I was doing, and going through people I already followed or worked with. I would go through their followers and mark it and hit them up or like a post or go on their live and show love. And he was one of the people that I went to his live, and he was, like I said, he was playing that Pete Rock sample. It was dope. I was like, it's one of them songs like where you hear a beat and you instantly start knowing what you're gonna say to it. So I hit him up. I took a chance because I see he had a buzz, and I was like, "Yo, man, let me hop on that." And then we just started working from there.
Right. How long did it take you guys to complete this project from beginning to end?
That project took a lot of work, man, because I just sent him my vocals, and I didn't really know what was gonna happen after that. It took a couple months, and then he hit me up with a couple ideas, and we just started. He just kept throwing little ideas here and there, and then it turned into what it turned into. And then he hit me one day, was like, "Yo, this is what I got." It was on completely different beats, and I'm like, "Yo, this shit is nuts." And then we just, it turned into what it turned into, and I was just like, "Man, this shit's fire."
For your creative process, do you normally write or do you have to wait for the beat?
Nah, man, I just hear a beat, and then it comes to me, man. Like I punch in bars, bar by bar. So I don't write. I just punch in.
Right. What has the feedback been like so far for this EP?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, me and Saga was talking about it, and he was just like, "Yo, like, this shit's tough, but we don't know where it's gonna go." You know what I'm saying? We both kind of had our doubts about it, and I'm just like, "Yeah, man, it is what it is. We'll put it out." And it took a year for us to put that out, and we just kind of thought it was gonna be what it was, and we were just like, "All right, cool. We just gonna kind of take a risk on it," and it ended up just getting the craziest feedback. Like, man, we did something with this. Like, the production, we had the clean edits, the radio edits. Like, we went full on. This shit was good, man. Like, it turned out to what it turned out to.
Who are some of the guest artists featured on this project?
Man, Iceberg Snub, Nonchalant Lise, we got Noise on there, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah.
So, where can the supporters find that project at?
All platforms, man. YouTube, Spotify, whatever you could think of. Like, all music platforms.
You and Saga plan on recording a full project in the future?
Yeah, we definitely got something coming, man. Like, we've been talking. We got something coming for sure. We doing another one.
Right. Now, as an artist, are you looking to work with other artists and producers, or are you just kind of focused on, one thing at a time right now?
I'm looking to work with whoever's on the same time as me, man. Like, I know like everybody got different goals, but you can see when you working with somebody the drive and the passion that they got for it. And if it's just not on the same type of time and I'm on, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a goal I'm trying to achieve.
Right. Once the best story ever told does its thing, what can we expect in the future from Mac Montana?
Man, a bunch of new stuff. I just like, this was Sunday. We shot 3 music videos in one day. Me, Saucian, Dizzy, Disaster, Designer Drugs. They're big in Springfield. So I went out to Springfield and we shot 3 music videos in one day. We got more coming. I just recorded something last night to send to Dizzy, and then me and Sauce got tapes coming. It's a bunch of whole stuff coming out, like mad stuff.
Right. What can we expect from your crew?
Man, we coming with something. Like, either way, like, the thing I like about us is everybody's doing something. Whether it's somebody's working on a private tape for themselves, collabs, I'm working on cover art, mixing, mastering, whatever. I do it all. I do it on myself. So we're always staying busy, and we got something coming up with everybody. So I just want to make sure everybody's gonna be on the lookout for that, because fasten y'all seatbelts, we coming.
Right. Any plans on touring in the future?
Definitely. I'm looking into shows. A tour might take a little time because I'm still trying to get everything perfect situated before I, you know, announce it. We gonna manifest and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But shows are definitely coming.
Right. Any other avenues you're looking to explore outside of music?
Different genres, man. Like I done it all: singing, trap, hip hop, R&B, boom bap. Now we just gonna try to explore in different lanes.
Right. For the supporters who've been checking you out and the new supporters that you are currently gathering, where can they keep following you at on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram. Instagram is my main social media. Mac underscore Montana GMB4L. Uh, Facebook Mac Montana. You can follow me on YouTube Mac Montana. You know what I'm saying? We coming, man. We got everything situated, all platforms. I'm on everything you can think of.
No doubt. And any last words for the supporters who've been checking for you since day one and the new ones that you're currently getting?
I appreciate everybody, new supporters, old supporters. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all y'all tapping in. We couldn't do this without y'all, man.
No doubt. Like I said, I want to thank you for the opportunity. This is Now Hear This. That is the one and only Mac Montana. I'm the journalist Sin-seer. Thank you so much. Anytime you got some new music, Mac, let's come back and do it all over again. Got to let the people know about you. Thank you for everything you've done, everything you're currently doing. We'll be on the lookout for everything you got coming up in the future.
Appreciate the interview, bro. Yes,
No
sir.
doubt. Again soon.
All right.